Welcome, bass family, to Everything Bass with Dale Titus. Today we're moving on in the Fundamentals of Slap series, and this is Unit 6. Before I get into the unit, let me talk about my concept in teaching slap. You'll notice, if you've been following along in real time as I've been posting these, I've been giving you these fundamentals, which are basic mechanics of basic little elements of slap. Instead of like teaching you a slap line, I'm teaching you just like what are components of successful slap lines. And today's no different. I'm going to show you a cool way to play a triplet. Ultimately, we will add to this a series of sample grooves. I don't know what I'm going to call the unit series yet, but it'll be where I'll give little 2-bar, 4-bar slap patterns that will have some of these elements, and then I can also maybe work in newer concepts or additional concepts into it. But you'll have this foundation. If I was to start just with the grooves, I'm afraid that would be a little bit overwhelming, and it'd be too easy for like players new to slap to go, oh, I can't do this, and stop. You can do this. This is actually really attainable. And I'm going to prove that, hopefully, with this series. So today, we're going to cover a pop, clap, thumb technique. And I'm going to go through each one of those and then show you how to put it together. And it's really a cool, dynamic, energizing, percussive element. The key there is percussive. There's no real foundational note. There's no fundamental. It's all just muted strings. Now the first thing is a muted pop. And you can pop, for this technique, either the D string or the G string. Doesn't matter right now. Let's just say for, I believe what's written on the materials that you can download from patreon.com, I start with the G string. And just start with the pop, then add that left hand clap we worked on in a previous unit, where you just kind of put your fingers down and get a clunk. So it's, and then end with a muted thumb. Now what's cool about that, that's the easiest one to get, because you're literally just letting your hand hit the strings. There's no real technique to that. Just let your, focus your energy on the full line of your thumb and hit the E string. And so you get this, okay? Pretty cool. But start slow. Give yourself some grace. Take some time. So you're going to go pop, clap, thumb. Pop, clap, thumb. And it's just simply that action. Now to do it as triplets, we don't want to put that pause I was putting in. We're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and what's brilliant about this technique is that it's the economy of motion. If you look at this, when my hand comes up with the pop, it gives me time to put the left hand clap in. My thumb comes down for the thumb. My finger's already there for the next pop. So my hand just makes this really, my right hand just makes this very simple motion. And that's what it sounds like when I'm doing a series of them together, popping on the G string. Now one variation, which you'll see on the second line of the downloaded material, is you can add a little dynamic or a little depth to the line by alternating the muted pop from the D string to the G string. There's a timbre difference there. You can actually hear it. So here's my D string pop. Got a little bit more bass to it and a little brighter. So by adding that in, really cool element. I was kind of getting a little harmonic there on the D string. I kind of dug it. But if you get a harmonic, just move your hand up a little bit and that'll kill that harmonic. Improvise with moving the pops around. It's one of the few elements in this, if you cycle the triplet over and over again, that you can add some variation, just as the drummer would with accents on the hi-hat, It's also a great stress reliever. You're just freaked out, you've had a terrible day at work, and you came home and your dog has peed on the carpet and you just can't deal with life. Try that. Just try cycling that together. Just get it together, man. It's almost like hitting the speed bag. It's got that same kind of rhythm to it. So right now we're just working on that technique. You might be asking, well, how would I put it into a bass line? Well, one thing I will give you is whenever you're learning a segment of like a slap element, something that's contained, like one single unit of this, and you want to know how it's going to work by being put into a bass line, look at your plucking hand and see what the next natural flow to the action would be. Like in this case, if I do a triplet, my hand's down. Doing another thumb is not impossible, but the most natural thing is my hand is going to want to come up. So it sets up a pop. So that might give you clues to how you'll use it. And then, of course, when we start giving those sample slap grooves, you'll see I'll work this in. So you'll see some applications. But I think you can understand, if this is a new technique to you, if I gave you the entire groove, it might just be frustrating because you hadn't taken time to really develop this one element. So take that time now. Work this out. Remember that kind of visualization I gave you about a train that's parked at a train station and it starts pulling away, it starts gradually and gets faster and faster. This is ideal for that. Start really slowly. And take it as fast as you want. It's a fun technique. And it's dynamic. Because if I'm doing a very downbeat oriented slap groove where I'm really playing on the quarter notes pretty heavy and I just want to put a quick little twist in, I'll throw in one of these just to kind of like put a little bit of rhythmic variation that kind of creates a little excitement. Especially if I'm transitioning from like an intro to a verse to a chorus. It's a really great setup to that. Okay, now today's Encore item is just another one of my most valued recordings. Stanley Clarke's Time Exposure. Now, for some reason, this CD, like I've met many players and I'll bring it up and they won't know about it. It's maybe just, I don't know what it is, but for me, I'm old enough, I'm 53 now at the time of recording, that I was, when this came out, I was an active player and I was always searching for new resources. And I bought it on cassette, so that tells you how old I am. And just because anything Stanley Clarke, I was supporting anything Stanley did. He was just such he still is just such a vital part of our bass experience. And this recording blew my mind from the beginning. It started with a short little snippet called Play the Bass 10 Cubed. And that is Louis Johnson, the late great Louis Johnson, and Stanley Clarke both slapping together. And Stanley then playing some piccolo bass. Oh my gosh. Blew my mind how great that was. And then this has singers on it, and there's some great songs. Are You Ready for the Future? Speedball, Heaven Sent You. These are all really great songs, and the bass plays such an important role in this album. Beyond just playing bass lines, I mean, he's playing melodies on piccolo basses. He's playing chords. Man, it's just such a fun album to listen to. So if I can kind of maybe read your mind right now, if you sought out this video, it might be because you're stagnant as a slap player and you're feeling like everything you slap's the same and always sounds the same. And I applaud you for reaching out and trying to find videos that maybe can give you new concepts. I still do it. I've been playing for 30 years, over 30 years. I still am constantly looking for new resources. And that's how you can break away from always slapping, playing the same thing. So check out players Stanley Clarke, any of these Encore items I show you, check them out, listen to them, see what elements like really intrigue you. Sit down, try to learn. Like if there's a new technique, there's going to be a lot of really cool really quick thumb patterns on this album that I started trying to put into my playing that got me away from maybe being so pop oriented in a lot of my lines at the time. And it's just fun. So there you have it. We got Fundamentals of Slap Unit 6, the pop clap thumb technique, and then of course Stanley Clarke's Time Exposure. Really love this. I hope you guys check it out. And if you do, you got to be like me. When you find like a really great recording and it just means so much to you, you just love showing it to people. And sometimes, I'll show it to my wife, and she's not a musician, but it always means so much to me when she receives it. When I was like, wow, that is cool and stuff. We love sharing music with each other, even stuff we don't create. We just love sharing it. So let me know what you think of this. Check it out. Listen to it. And if possible, if you have the means, try to, you can buy this on many different online outlets. It just means a lot to the individual artists that you actually buy their content. If you're not sure you want to buy it, check it out on a streaming service. But if it really moves you, it's not a little thing to these great creators that you bought their actual CD. It means a lot to them, more than just the financial thing. It just means a lot to them that they can see that you're buying their works. It's great. So I try to always support anything I show on here. I bought, and I want to model that behavior, because we have to we have to support each other. We're a vital community, and we have to really support each other's music and all that. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, please hit the like on the video below, and hit subscribe if you have not done so already, and hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified every time I upload. Those familiar with the channel, I upload weekly, and I'm trying to put up a lot of content. I want to really, if you're not able to take private lessons right now because of where you live, or your job's so busy, your schedule's crazy financially, these videos I'm hoping will help you, that you'll have resources covering the full width and breadth of studying the bass, and you can study them at your leisure. Again, if you want to download the content so you can have the PDFs for each lesson, please check out patreon.com/everythingbass. For a very small monthly subscription fee, you get access to all my support materials for every video I do. And it does mean a lot, because it's going to allow me to reinvest in this channel, make better audio, be able to put up better play-alongs, recordings and things like that. So I'm really excited about this. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video.